Hello, lovies. Welcome back to the Be Yourself Unapologetically podcast. Today, we're going to be doing a podcast on a different note. And I'd get the kettle on, sit down, and listen. If you ever feel this way, then this one is for you. When kind people break, why it hurts so much, and how to protect your heart. Today's episode is for the people who give until their bones ache. It's for the people who help others move house at the last minute, the ones who answer messages at 2 a.m, the ones who remember birthdays, cook meals, sit in A&E with someone else's crisis, and then don't even get a simple thank you. If you are the kind one, the soft one, the they'll understand one, the one that never blackmails, never threatens, never keeps score, and somehow you're also the one who ends up forgotten, taken for granted, and treated like you're nothing, then this episode is for you. Because kind people are often the ones who get hurt the most. And the question we're asking today is, how do kind people stop hurting so badly without turning cold or cruel? So grab a drink, take a breath, and let's walk through this together. So why does kindness feel like a punishment? Let's start with the question that sits in your chest. How can we be good people, a good family, do everything right, and still end up being treated like shit? So yes, this is going to be an explicit one, which I don't normally do, but it's the only way I can describe it. You help people because that's who you are. You don't blackmail people emotionally. You don't say, you owe me. You help, then step back and hope that they're okay. And then you watch them move on to their next crisis, their next favourite person, their next target. You're left standing in the quiet afterwards, surrounded by all the emotional rubble you just help them clear, asking, did I ever really matter, or was I just convenient? Here's the hard truth that might actually set you free. Most people are not thinking at the depth that you feel. They're not sitting at home thinking, how can I disrespect this incredibly kind family today? They're often stuck in their own survival mode, their own drama, their own ego. You're playing chess with your heart, and they're playing hungry hippos with whatever's in front of them. Your kindness is not being punished. Your kindness is being misused in a world where a lot of people are emotionally undeveloped. But that is not your fault. So, the unspoken rule kind people live by. Kind people often live by an invisible rule that sounds like this. If I'm kind enough, patient enough, helpful enough, people will finally see my worth and treat me well. So you go above and beyond what the average person would. You say yes when you're shattered. You lend money when you can't really spare. You agree to just one more favour when you're hanging on by a thread. And when there's no thank you, or worse, when they just turn on you and don't even acknowledge that you exist, it doesn't just hurt your feelings. It attacks your identity. Because if you see yourself as the good one, the helper, the strong one, then every time you are disregarded, disrespected, your brain whispers, if I'm so good, why does nobody say thank you? Why does nobody else be there for you when you need it? If I'm so kind, why do I feel so disposable? In this world, even made for people like me, why do my family get treated like this when we haven't got enough problems? That's the part that quietly breaks you. Not just the event, just the betrayal, but the story that follows. It's like, maybe we don't belong here. So let me just say this clearly. You belong here. The problem is not that you are kind. The problem is that no one ever taught you how to protect your kindness. So you go above and beyond, doing things that other people would never even think about doing. And when you expect maybe a thank you, they will say, I never asked you to do that. As though again, punishing you for doing something kind. Predators and magnets. Why can't people get targeted? There's another piece to this. Certain types of people are drawn to kindness like flies to sugar. People who want attention but don't want accountability, want support but don't want to change, want emotional labour but don't want emotional honesty. They can sense who will say yes, who will listen, who will forgive, who will go above and beyond, even putting their own self at risk. Kind people are like emotional first aid stations, except in your life there's no closing time. You're always open. And predators, users, energy vampires, whatever you want to call them, do not think, this person is kind, I must protect them. They think, this person is kind, I can get away with more. Again, that doesn't mean you deserve it. It means your kindness is shining with no protection filter. Because sometimes you've just got to say, this is not for me. Why do I even bother? If all you're doing is getting hurt over and over again. You are not weak, you are not stupid, you are not naive. You are just unguarded in a world where some people will benefit from you staying unguarded. The family who never plays dirty. So, my whole family are kind and good-hearted. Yet we get treated like we are nothing because we don't blackmail people. We help emotionally in any way, physically, not like the average person. We don't guilt trip people. We don't threaten to cut them off if they don't perform. We don't say after, all I've done for you. We just help. But the brutal honesty is, we're playing by healthy rules in an unhealthy game. We're trying to do relationships like a team sport, friendships, companionships, while other people are playing like it's a war. So of course, we end up feeling like the casualties. But your kindness is not the problem. Your lack of boundaries and lack of reciprocity, somebody actually acknowledging what you've done and just at least saying a thank you. A lot of people aren't like you. So you need to protect yourself because you're not meant to become them. You're meant to stay you with armour and not walls. So how do kind people stop hurting so badly? Let's get practical now. We're going to talk through some ways kind people can keep their soft heart without constantly getting crushed. Think of this as kind, not crushed, a survival guide. We'll go through the 5 core shifts. Stop giving from emptiness. Start noticing patterns, not promises. Put boundaries between you and behaviour, not between you and your love. Learn to disappoint people who expect you to abandon yourself. And turn some of that kindness inward. Right now, you might be giving like this. They're struggling, I'll help. They had it worse than me, I'll help. I'm the only one they have, I'll help. So we become the human version of an overdraft. So here's a new rule. I only give what I can offer without abandoning myself. And ask yourself 3 questions before you say yes, before you even offer to help people. From now on, it's about protecting yourself. So do I actually have the time, energy or money for this? Will I feel resentful after I do it? I mean, it's not that, you do feel resentful. It's only after a certain period of time when you realise what you did meant nothing. So just think, if I say yes now, what am I saying no to in myself or my family? If the cost is your health, your sleep, your kids, your sanity, then that's too expensive. Kindness that destroys you is not kindness, it's self-erasure. And it is hard. It is hard because you feel emotional about the way your family are treated. And you've learnt kindness from other kind people in your family, and then you see them get treated like they don't exist. And yes, that hurts. It does hurt. But you have to remember, other people are not invested like you or your family are, because they're not you. Notice patterns. You know what I mean? If people are coming to you for one thing and then something else and then something else, and they just keep asking for more and more and more, and then when you've done everything you can and you can't give anything else, you've completely stressed yourself out trying to help, and they've not even said thank you, just remember, that is not your fault. That is on them. It doesn't mean that you are too kind for this world. It just means that from now on, you have to protect yourself. People who use kind hearts are often brilliant at the world. I'll pay you back, I'll change, I'll be there for you like you were there for me. Sometimes they say, I didn't ask you, but actually they did. They specifically came and said they were in trouble and they needed help, and you just offered to do it. But then they would say, well, I didn't ask you to. That's on them. So, I mean, you want to believe them when they say that, you know, they're going through stuff and you're trying to help them get out of it, and you're thinking about their mental health and what can you do to make that better. But the fact is, like I said before, they're not you. So from now on, your mantra is, I trust patterns, not paragraphs. And look at what they actually do over time. They've had weeks to actually show you that they are thankful and grateful for all you've helped them for. Now, if this goes on for weeks, for months, for years, and all they do is think about themselves, you need to let them be responsible for themselves. Do they only message you when they want something? Do they disappear when you need them? Do they twist things when you set the smallest boundary? Do they apologise with words but repeat actions? Every time you ignore a pattern, you are training your nervous system to accept pain as normal. You don't have to confront everyone. You can simply adjust your access. Some people don't get full access anymore. Some people get limited access. Some people get no access. That's not cruel, that's emotional hygiene. Boundaries between you and behaviour, not between you and love. A lot of kind people hate the word boundaries because it sounds harsh. So let's reframe it. A boundary is not, I don't care about you. A boundary is, I care about you and me at the same time. Think of it like a boundary is a fence, not a prison. It says, here's my garden, you are welcome here if you treat it with respect. Practical boundary sentences can sound like, I understand what you're going through, but it's not my responsibility. I understand you're upset, but I'm not okay with being treated like a cash machine. I'm not okay with being abused. I'm not okay with being treated like everything when you want something, to being treated like I'm nothing when you've got it. I can help you with this, but not today. My plate is already full. I'm not able to put my financial status at risk for you. I'm not able to lend money. I can't deal with this. It's too stressful and it's not my problem. I care about you, but I'm no longer available for conversations that leave me feeling drained and guilty. You will no longer guilt trip me into making me do something that doesn't feel right. You're allowed to say those things without a PowerPoint presentation of your reasoning. Some people come to you and they will give you a story of how bad their life is, and you go above and beyond to help, only to realise that they just wanted their cake and to eat it. Simple, you know? They tell you they want things one way, but their actions show different. So learn to disappoint people who expect you to abandon yourself, or who don't even want to talk to you when you've given them everything that they needed. Because you were just a way out. You were just that convenient person that got them to where they could have their cake and eat it. They didn't care. They only cared about what they needed at the time. So here's a tough medicine moment. If someone is only happy with you when you're saying yes, fixing them and putting yourself last, then the minute you start honouring your limits, they will be disappointed. They can call you selfish. They can call you changed. They can say you're not the same caring person. They can punish you with silence or drama. But this is where most kind people crumble and go back to their old role, because if you are naturally a helper, that's how they get you in the first place. So here's the truth. Their disappointment is not proof that you're doing something wrong. Their disappointment is proof that your old role served them and not you. Healthy people adjust when you put a boundary people in place. Unhealthy people attack it. When you feel that familiar guilt rising, remind yourself, I am not here to be everyone's emotional life support machine. You are allowed to disappoint people who expect you to sacrifice yourself. Turn some of that kindness inward. This is the hardest one for people like you. You know how to hold other people when they cry. You know how to listen, reassure, encourage, forgive. But when it comes to you, you call yourself too sensitive, stupid for trusting them, pathetic for caring, weak for still hurting. If you spoke to your friends the way you spoke to yourself, you will call it abuse. So here's a radical experiment. For 1 week, pretend you are your own best friend. When you catch your inner voice saying, you're an idiot for letting them use you. You're an idiot for letting them use your family. You're an idiot for doing this again. So pause and rewrite it as if you were speaking to someone that you love. You cared, you hoped. That's not stupid. That's who you are. But now we've got new information and we're going to protect you better next time. If you know there's someone in your family that can't put boundaries in place themselves, and you never expected some of the people to treat them like they have, not in a million years, it's going to hurt, because you know that your family member, yourself, you know that you come from kind stock. But you've got to remind yourself and your family, not everybody is like us. Not everybody is like you. It doesn't magically erase the pain. So, life hurts you. Then your inner critic kicks in while you're down. You ask, why have I done this again? Why have I gone and above and beyond to help people? For them to act like they don't exist, like you don't exist. Self-kindness is how you say enough. I'm not joining in with hurting myself. Is this world even a place we can live with so much heartache? Sometimes you will ask yourself that question. It just goes to show when the people that you've done things for know your family is going through something, but they don't even have the decency to show a little bit of empathy, to even ask a person that they've been asking for stuff, right? It's just so, if you know a family member, right, as every time a person's come to them and told them something, that person's gone above and beyond. And now you know that person is going through things and not having a good time in their life, and you realise that it's not the other way around. No one's there for them. No one's even bothered to go see them and ask them how they are. Then you know, again, that was all one-sided. So sometimes we can leave ourselves questioning if this world is not a place we can be and live with so much heartache. And now that's what happens. But if you've ever laid at night thinking, maybe I'm not built for this world, maybe caring this much is a curse, maybe the only person who's survived the ones who don't feel so deeply. But I want to tell you that part of you, the part that is tired of being the good person in everyone else's story, but never the safe person in your own. Here's what I believe. The world absolutely needs people like us, people like you. But it needs you resourced and protected, not exhausted, not broken, not numb. So no, the answer is never to become cold, it's just to become wise. And yes, some people have been on this world, on this earth for so many years, and no matter what they've been through, life hasn't hardened them. They are still the most kind-hearted people you will ever meet. But there's always going to be people out there that abuse that kindness. You can stay kind, but you don't need to be available 24/7. You can still care, but you know, if someone's actually being cruel by treating you like you don't exist after you've done so much, then you realise that, you know, you won't tolerate that anymore. You can actually say you'll still help, but not at the expense of your own mental health. You know, my family's kindness is a legacy, but I'm telling you, as much as I'm telling myself, we're going to guard it better from now on. And when our brains drift towards thoughts like, what's the point? It's not a character flaw. It's a sign that we are overwhelmed and unsupported. In those moments, you know, we shouldn't suffer in silence. We need to reach out to people we trust. Protect yourself, protect your family, because that's who really matter. So build a softer, safer life for kind people. Now, some of you might be listening to this and being like, well, yeah, actually, we should appreciate people like that in our life. But I can tell you now, the majority of people will be like, it's your own fault. And that's who we need to stay away from. So let's just finish with some realistic shifts you can start this week. We don't have to overhaul our personalities. We've just got to add some armour. We've got to do one less thing for someone who obviously doesn't care. In fact, we shouldn't do anything at all. And it's not out of spite. It's out of looking after what you have. From now on, We just need to say, it's not our problem. You can create a tiny ritual for yourselves and your family. It could be a Sunday film, a walk with no phones, a compliment round at dinner, just to remind ourselves that our kindness inside matters inside our home, and not to let the outside world ruin that. So we can write a list of people that do actually say thank you, that do actually treat you like a person and not just like something that they can withdraw from. You know, write a list of the people that do check on you, the people who do say thank you, the people who remember that you might exist, be a few, but you exist. So nurture those connections. Start a no more list. Write down the behaviours that are no longer available for these people that can only think about themselves. So only hearing from someone when they want something. Keep that list where you can see it. It becomes your inner contract with yourself. So this is a love letter to the kind ones. Before we close, I want to speak directly to you, the kind one who is tired. You are not too much. You are not too nice. You are not the fool who gets walked over. You are someone who understands loyalty, compassion, and care in a world that often treats those as optional extras. Yes, you've been hurt again. Yes, people have used you and walked away. But your kindness has never been wasted. Every moment you sat with someone in their darkest hour, you were the evidence that good people exist. Every favour you did for them, every late night reply, every time you opened your door and offered to help them when no one else would. Those are threads of humanity you've woven into the world. Now is the time to weave some of that care back into your own life, your own family. Just say, I am kind, but I am learning to be kind to myself too. You don't have to choose between loving people and being safe, being kind to people, or having boundaries. You know, you are allowed to say no. And if someone uses it against you and says, oh, well, you could have said no, or you could have said, I can't do that, or you could have said this, you could have said that, they wouldn't have asked you in the first place. They knew what a kind-hearted soul you were. So if this episode hit home for you, please know you are not alone. There are more of us, too kind, too deep, too loyal humans than you think, quietly wondering if we still fit in this loud, sharp world. We do. We just need better boundaries, softer places to land, and more honest conversations like this one. Share this episode with someone who is always there for everyone else. Maybe for once something or someone can be there for them. Look after your heart, look after your body, look after your beautiful, stubborn kindness. Look after your family. You are not nothing. You are not forgotten. You are the kind of person that the world quietly depends on. Talk soon.